Yeah, well, first of all, obviously, what we're saying today is Labour's plan when we were in government for this zero carbon homes initiative. That for years, industry had been working towards these new energy efficiency targets, and they were supposed to come in 2016 after many years of working towards them. And the government scrapped them. The Conservative government scrapped them in 2015. So all the homes that could have been built since 2016, which, as you say, is 800,000 could have had this energy resilience and could have been zero carbon homes had they not done that. So that's the first thing that we're saying today. And the second thing is that we really do now need a serious national mission to retrofit all our homes. And Keir Starmer set out plans for that at our conference recently. And that would involve supporting through grants low-income homes, because if you're on a low income, you cannot afford the thousands of pounds that it costs to insulate your home, to change your heating system, to fit double glazing, all these things that our homes need. And for those that can afford it, we're talking about a loan scheme where obviously the savings that you make over the years following having this work done on your home, you make a lot of savings in your home bills, and you would use that to sort of pay off the loan. So we need a national mission here to get this done.
I just want to get some figures from you, if that's okay. How much would it cost per home in the UK to make each home more energy efficient and carbon neutral?
Well, it obviously will cost, a lot of money across all homes. Obviously, it's different for different homes because some homes are more energy efficient than others. Some would need only insulation. Some would need new heating systems. Some would need double glazing. Some would need, external wall insulation, which is a more expensive piece of work. So it would be different across all homes. But we set out in our conference how we would pay for that. This would be part of the green stimulus package, an investment package that was set out by our Shadow Chancellor, Rachel Reeves. Because it costs more for the country for us not to take this action. We've got to meet these climate targets, first of all. So they're very ambitious targets of having a zero carbon economy in just a few years' time. So the most emitting part of our economy is all of our individual homes.
Yeah. I think, Lucy,
as we've seen over the last few weeks, the energy crisis, we've got to have more resilience when it comes to home energy.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees that it needs to happen. The question is how and who is going to pay for it, which is why I was asking you for a figure. The Institute for Energy Research says that it could be up to £18,000 per home, and there are 19 million homes in the UK that need to be made energy efficient in order for us as a country to reach our carbon emissions target. So that is a lot of money. That is hundreds of billions of pounds. And someone somewhere is going to have to pay for it, either the taxpayer or energy companies or individuals.
And private companies as well. Probably a combination of all, well, certainly a combination of all of those. What we're talking about are some government grants for low-income households, so that it is grant funded if you're on a low income, that if you can afford it, if you're not such a low-income family, this would be through a kind of loan scheme where, as I say, because your energy bills would be significantly reduced for many years afterwards, you're then able to sort of pay that back through your energy company and through the energy system. But we also anticipate this would unlock a considerable amount of private investment as well into this agenda. And that's why it really does need government to set a national framework and a national mission. And that's why we're highlighting this issue of the zero carbon homes that the government scrapped.
Where would the government raise the money from in order to give? I mean, we're talking about vast sums of money here. How is the government going to raise that money? Is it going to have to put a levy on household gas bills? Is it going to have to raise taxes? Where would the money come from to pay for that?
Well, what we've said for our proposals is that some of this money for the grants and to kickstart this programme would come from a long-term kind of borrowing to invest model, because this is an investment in our country, it's an investment in our homes, it's an investment in reducing our energy reliance. Because as we've seen over recent weeks, if we don't tackle this issue, we're all going to pay a lot more in the long run, because energy prices are going to go up as energy supplies become much more of a sort of global political issue, and energy supplies come down. So we've got to make our home heating a lot more resilient in the long run as well, and that's how we'll do that too.
Lucy, a lot of these conversations are happening in the run-up to COP. Is the climate change conference an opportunity actually, and we say the issue is serious enough that we need cross-party support to try and engineer some of these plans rather than constantly sort of flinging criticism?
Yeah, well, this is a constructive proposal, absolutely. And, we need to pull together, not just as a country, but as a world to set these targets. But crucially, we've got to have a plan to deliver these targets. The easier part of this conversation is to say, as the government are saying, they have got very ambitious plans for carbon reduction for our country, and that's to be welcomed. But you can't just will the ends without willing the means. You've got to have serious plans, proper plans about how we're actually going to reduce our emissions. And our homes are about a third of our country's emissions. And at the moment, this government have no plan whatsoever about how we're going to reduce emissions in our homes. So we are taking the sort of difficult decisions, coming up with costed plans that can work. And if the government want to take those from us, all the better. But that's what we're trying to do as an opposition, is come up with the proposals that we think can meet these ambitious targets.